Anderson. Santiago, we'll start with you.
Hi Corey, thank you for the time. How are you experiencing your fight week thus far? Is Bellator taking good care of you?
I mean, Bellator always takes great care. I mean, not good care. Everybody here does an awesome job. Hotel is nice. The accommodations are nice. The workout room is nice. So everything is good. I'm happy.
Yeah, you look happy. And this move to Bellator MMA has been amazingly good for you and your career. And I really feel that you are being appreciated a lot here. Do you feel that as well, Corey?
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's why my performances have been the way they are. I'm truly happy. A happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. And here I'm just incredibly happy. My family is happy. Like, not just my wife and kids, but my parents, brothers, everyone around me is happy for me and the way the organization has been treating me. And that just, it transpires into when I step into the cage to go out there and fight with that same energy.
Have you fought before in Illinois? And how much does it mean for you to fight in your own state? Is it more comfortable during fight week or does it also bring some pressure and obligations?
I only fought here once. My debut was in Illinois, Springfield, Illinois, for CCW, Capital City Cage Wars, and it doesn't bring much pressure. But when they first announced it, I wasn't excited about it because I knew like the people that I used to hang out with in Rockford, Illinois, where I'm from, and some of the people I used to see were like kind of they support, but they don't support. Like if I came to town, now they want to come to the event and ask for tickets and stuff. But like when we're other places, those people would never travel to come see me. At first I wasn't excited about that fact. Like I'm gonna be getting blown up by all these different people that want something from me. And I made a big post about like, yo, if I haven't talked to you within the last so many years for more than 10 minutes, do not reach out to me, blase, blase. And Bellator gave me 100 friends and family tickets to post and sell. I gave them to a friend. It was all sold within like a week. And after that, I got excited. Like, okay, so people actually are going to support. Then I started having old teachers and old coaches from Illinois reach out who said they were going to be here. Then I started to get fired up. Like, wait, I finally get to go and perform not only for the belt, but perform for the belt in front of some of these people that inspired me and molded me to be the man I am today. So after that, I got super excited. Now I'm just fired up, ready to go.
That first fight between you and Vadim was heavily going your way prior to the accidental head clash. Vadim had some time to think about that and to train again for you. What do you think it is that he will do different this time around? Because you kind of said it out loud, Corey, that you read him like a book, you made him gas out and then took over. Do you think that he has it in him to start a bit slower? Because he's not used to that, right?
I mean, you can start a bit slower, but I still fight at a high pace. So if you start a little bit slower, then you end up behind the eight ball on me. I mean, I'm a head on punch output, and then you start trying to pick up the punch output, trying to catch up, and then you're gonna gas more of a panic. So he could wait a little bit. I think the biggest thing he did really well was the kick game. So in my mind, going into this, I always thought he's gonna come in with heavy kicks, So we trained that, preparing for heavy kicks. Head kicks, we blocked all those. Body kicks, we caught those. Leg kicks were the ones that landed. So we thought about it, like, just remember, we need to work this a lot this camp because that's what he's gonna work his bread and butter. And I'm sure, I hope he worked his takedown defense and a little bit more wrestling.
Bellator has announced a co-promotion with Ryzen in Japan at the end of this year. Did you catch this, Corey? And what do you think about two promotions coming together with their best fighters? It's pretty exciting, am I right?
Oh yeah, I like that idea. I mean, it's just like an MMA training. Sometimes if you're in the area with one of the best gyms and you got like some understanding where you guys won't fight each other, it's it is beneficial for you guys to train together. You each get something out of it. That's just cross promotion. It's beneficial for Bellator and Risen, or if later on Bellator and One, if even sometime Bellator and One UFC to do a cross promotion. It's good for everybody because everybody gets to eat. Everybody get a piece of the pie and gets the exposure to different fighters out there instead of the ones that's getting talked about all the time because everybody is stuck on one promotion. If all these promotions can work together, have like a battle of such and such organization and have like a title eventually where the best organization, the fighter in the best organization get one title after the champs of each one fight for it. I think something like that would be cool. But I know some organizations won't be on for that.
Jay?
Thanks very much, Corey. Welcome back. I know you said a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter, so I hate to start off on a bit of a down note, but it was an emotional week and weekend in MMA. We saw Frankie Edgar retire, and we learned the tragic news of Rumble Johnson's passing. And I know you had some nice words for Frankie on social media. I'm wondering if you could just maybe share with us one of your favorite memories of Frankie's career, and then maybe as well with Rumble Johnson.
I mean, my favorite moment of Frankie's career, you got to go to Gray Maynard fights. Anybody and everybody will tell you the Gray Maynard trilogy. But the second fight was probably the best. And just training with Frankie, I'm who I am and in this sport because of Frank. Well, not in the sport, but in the big leagues because of Frankie. Frankie picked me first on the Ultimate Fighter. They invited me to New Jersey. They took me in. And they taught me everything he know, which helped me mold to be that man I am today. So that right there is that's the favorite thing I have about Frankie. The generosity he had to take a complete stranger he met on a reality TV show and invite him into his father-in-law's house and allow me to stay in New Jersey and train with them. As for Rumble, I gotta say my best memory is I think it was World Series of Fighting. He was fighting DJ Letterman, and I remember the guy poked him in the eye, and he was trying to tell him breath, like, "Yo, stop, I'll poke." And he was running backwards to the cage, and the ref was like, "I didn't see it, keep going." And DJ came sprint across the cage, and you see AJ just stop and throw a right hand, and literally just makes dude's body his whole soul left his body on instant, just folded right to the ground, and the fight was over. I was probably one of the coldest and coolest things I've seen out of all his knockouts. That's the one that stuck out the most to me.
Appreciate you sharing that. And you mentioned that great trilogy with Gray Maynard that Frankie had. I mean, this is a second fight with Nemkov, win or lose. Do you see maybe a possibility of a trilogy forming with him?
It could be. I mean, it all depends on how our careers go after this. If one of us loses the belt this week or lose the fight this weekend and continue to perform and work our way back to the champion, he's still holding the belt or I'm still holding the belt, yeah, for sure. Or if at some point neither of us are the champion, we're trying to fight our way back, there's a possibility we fight each other to get there. There's so many possibilities. Anything can happen, So right now you just gotta worry about one fight at a time. I'm worried about number 2, me and Nemkov number 2, and we'll worry about what happens after that.
Fair enough. Well, best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Kobe?
Hi, Corey. It's only 7 months since your previous fight with Nemkov. You're running it right back. It's kind of a unique situation. Do you see the fight going any different than the first time?
In my mind, I still plan to go out there and do what I did and dominate. That's how I plan every fight to go. That's how all my fights been in Bellator. Go out there, dominate, and pose my will. The one thing about it is he has intel on me. 15 minutes, about 14 minutes, 50 seconds. 14 minutes and 55 seconds worth of intel of what I do and what I can do. So you had 7 months to study that same 14 minutes and all the other fights you had. Now you can go through and watch that fight, compare them to other fights, and compare and contrast. See what I did well, see what I did wrong, see what I did in that fight that you need to work on and get better at. But the biggest thing is, like, in all my fights is always, I don't have the same performance, but I have similar game plans. You have to be in the camp to understand. Like, we switch everything up. Everything changes. The code changes. The movement changes. But it's always to get to the same outcome. Get a guy to the ground and ground and pound. We just find different ways to get there. So it's just different setups to get you to the ground. And I'm sure he worked on things to stop whatever it is I'm bringing. But that's the thing. I had the same 7 months he had to study and figure out other ways to get him down. So if he can stop it the first round, I still expect to get him down within the second, third, one of those. But at the end of the day, I still plan on getting him down, just doing what I do. Like I said, when I came to Bellator, I got one goal: come here, take you down, ground and pound, and that's it.
And how did he compare it to some of your previous opponents? Is there anyone that was similar for you?
First fight in Bellator. Oh no, second fight. Yeah, Shamiradov. I think he was a tougher guy to take down. Same thing. First round when I shot on him, pretty good base. He played the cage. He played the edge. He low you in, pull you in, hit you with a big shot. Vadim's shots weren't as big, but he was like bouncing, low you in, catch you stepping in, catch you going back, hit you with his shots. And it was tough to take him down in the first. But in the second round, once I got him down, it was such how it is with anybody. If I get you down once, now I know I can do it again. So anytime I shoot, I'm confident I'm going to get you down. So you might as well just accept it.
Right on. Looking forward to a great fight, buddy.
Thank you.
Rami?
Hi, Rami Hanna from BodySlamNet. I have 2 questions to ask you. My first one is, before you departed from the UFC, one of my favorite quotes you said was, "There's levels to this." Since then, And since you've arrived in Bellator, you've shown there's levels to this. In your last 3 wins, TKO wins over Melvin Manoff and Ryan Bader. When you fought Nemkov and you had him close to being finished towards the end of the 3rd round, what was going through your head when, of course, it was called a no contest? And what is your game plan when it comes to the second fight? Do you plan on shooting immediately? And do you have an early prediction on when you see this ending?
I mean, thoughts in my mind when all that was going on was he's done. Like I said in the post, like I didn't just beat him, I broke him. And the reason why I set up, only reason the headbutt happened is because my initial thought was, all right, we're going to sit here, we're going to finish grinding him out this round, make him carry my weight. 3rd round, he's going to come out, he's going to be flat. We're going to shoot on him, get him down, then we're going to open up and just finish him in the early 4th. And in that last, like 20 seconds, he started fighting, he was throwing up submissions, he was defending. And when I passed his guard, I heard him just do that deep, which is kind of like, it's a sign of nothing is working or I'm getting tired. And I was like, all right, well, he just gave me something. I'm just going to open up for a second. When I sat up to open up, he had like a butterfly or his foot on my leg, and he kind of kicked my leg out and shrimped to the opposite side to get away from the elbow. And as I was dropping my elbow and my head came down, we clashed. So when all that happened, the thought was, I'm about to finish this fight here. And then that happened. It's like, oh, that's not. And that's why I kind of tapped my head. Frank Triggs like, clean blow, keep going. You even hear the commentator say, oh, that was a clean shot. But me, I sat up and told him, like, no, that was my head. And like, I feel like if I didn't say that, it would have kept going around, would have ended, and I won. As for going into the next fights, or to the next fight, I don't plan on going out there and shoot because he knows I got the takedown advantage. So 100%, he's trained. If that, I'm not going to end up like Ben Askren of Jorge Masvidal. You go out there and just shoot and get hit with a knee. You got to be smart about it. You got to set it up. So when I go for the takedown, it will be set up when I see an opportunity. If I don't see the opportunity, I'm prepared to strike if I have to until he starts slowing down and get that. But there's no secret that Corey Anderson, when he fights you, he's going to get you to the ground. And he can't. They tell you, when you fight in Corey, I'm guaranteed they all going to say, at some point he's going to shoot. He's going to try to get you to the ground. So that's like the first thing they work on.
Mike?
Hey, Corey, I know you kind of already talked about what it's like being back home here fighting in Illinois. But also, with that, and you mentioned, all the tickets being sold and all the coaches and everyone coming out, all the support. But on the other side of that is you can really kind of show, those from the Rockford area and everywhere around the Chicagoland area, just your journey and what it's taken. I find it a little poetic that, you said you wouldn't have changed how things went in your first fight. And now you have an opportunity to kind of put the belt around your waist and showcase your journey to so many people from where you're from. What does that mean to you in particular?
That's a good question. Excuse me. That's one thing I was talking to my one of my corners in the ride over here from the airport. I said in every interview, and they ask about like, how do you feel about what happened in the last one? And I said, I'm a firm believer everything happened in God's plan. Like maybe it wasn't meant for me to get the belt there in California. Maybe it wasn't meant for me to get the belt at all, but maybe it was meant for me to win this belt here in my hometown. And as you said, to see all the people I grew up with and watch it and to come back full circle because I started my first fight in Illinois. I started training in Milwaukee. I was still living in Illinois, but driving to Milwaukee and went to Springfield. And before I had my first fight, I always said it at every viewing party, every signing I had, I always made an announcement to people. Just remember, when I make it, we make it. And what that means, when I make it, I'm not going to forget where I came from. I'm going to bring y'all with me. When I come home, I'm going to do events here for the hometown because I want to make sure Roxanne Illinois remembers I never forgot about you guys. And maybe that's it. Maybe now it's my time to get that belt, and maybe it's God's way to say, hey, remember, you said when you make it, they make it. So maybe it was for them to be here to share this moment with me. And like you said, it's definitely something you think about. And if that's the case and it happens like that, it's definitely going to be an emotional night, and it's going to be awesome. And I'm sure I'm going to get bombarded at the hotel between two of my colleges being here, the kids I coach as a college athlete or college coach going to be here, my coaches, my high school. I got a high school teammate, Rob Finnick, on his card. Brian Newman, he's from Whitewater, my college. He's on the card. So there's going to be a lot of people that I know that's going to be here, and to share that moment with all of those guys, I'm sure it's going to be emotionally fantastic.
Thank you, Corey, for your time.
Thank you.